Anne, a little child played by Deborah Zachiva, is trapped in her room in the opening scene. Her mother unexpectedly knocks on the door and asks to be let inside. Anne dismisses her and locks the door. Anne's mother keeps pleading with her to let herself in. Her mother starts pounding on the door ferociously in an effort to get inside. Finally, Anne's mother, who is obviously under the influence of something, is seen slamming her head against the door. Years later, an adult Anne, Jacqueline Byers, now a nun, is helping out at the St. Michael the Archangel School of Exorcism in Boston while on assignment. Sister Anne provides care for patients' daily needs while assisting in the medical ward, bathing, feeding, etc. One day, she makes friends with Natalie, a patient who is a young girl, Posey Taylor. Anne is interested in exorcism techniques and occasionally sneaks into a class led by Father Quinn, Colin Salmon. She receives a reprimand later on because nuns cannot be taught exorcism techniques. Priests are only permitted to perform exorcisms. One afternoon, as Anne is giving a patient a sponge bath, she is unexpectedly attacked. He starts out with a new voice and says something that Anne had memories of her mother saying when she was possessed. Security cameras captured the entire incident. Father Quinn is certain that Anne will continue to be the focus of this demonic entity and believes that she needs to be prepared to defend herself. And is permitted to enroll in exorcism classes when Father Quinn persuades the cardinal. In her first lesson, Father Quinn takes the students to witness an exorcism firsthand. It is made clear who is being possessed, Natalie. Father Dante and Father Raymond, two students, are chosen to try their hand at performing the exorcism. When things go wrong, Father Quinn tries to rid Natalie of the demon, but Natalie prevails. When Anne eventually enters the room and Natalie responds to her plea, the evil spirit departs. Anne learns later that the exorcism was unsuccessful because the demonic thing merely retreated because it felt intimidated. Natalie is told that her condition is terminal. And researches people who were thought to be terminal cases as she continues to be tormented by the same demonic presence. And can access the secret patient records with Father Dante's assistance, but she only discovers one patient who might survive, a woman. Her face has been severely disfigured by the exorcism, though. The other patients were all fatal. Later, Father Dante tells Anne that he thinks his sister, who is expecting, is possessed and that he wants Anne to perform an unlawful exorcism. Anne made the decision to assist because she had some success with Natalie. After a lengthy session, Anne can free Dante's sister from the demon's grip. Later, in a private conversation with Dante, Anne reveals that before she became a nun, she had a daughter. And chose to give her daughter up for adoption as soon as she was born rather than raising her. The following day, Father Quinn and the cardinal summon Anne to a meeting. Anne is informed that the sister of Father Dante committed suicide not long after their meeting with her. And makes the decision to go back to St. Mary's, her monastery. Later, Father Dante visits Anne at St. Mary's to let her know that Natalie has been discharged, but soon after, Natalie has a relapse and is taken back to the hospital by ambulance. However, when the ambulance arrived, the doors were opened to find Natalie had already murdered everyone in the car. Anne receives the pendant that Natalie is clutching in her hand from Father Dante. Anne examines the necklace and informs Dante that it is the same necklace she gave her daughter when she was born, so confirming Natalie's paternity. And is persuaded by Dante to participate in another illicit exorcism. In order to get close to Natalie, he slips Anne into the tunnels beneath St. Michael's. Eventually, Natalie erupts and murders a number of priests, including Father Raymond. After some resistance, Anne gets the evil spirit to let go of Natalie and take her. As a result, the spirit departs Sister Anne and enters Natalie, who is hiding with Father Dante. In the tombs, Anne becomes possessed and starts pursuing Natalie. Dante gets defeated by Anne and knocked out. Natalie is attacked by the possessed and while she hides beside a holy water fountain. Anne ultimately regains consciousness and engages in combat with the demon inside of her. As Anne fights the spirit physically, her body falls into the fountain, where the holy water cleanses Anne's body of the spirit. After being pulled from the water, Anne meets Natalie and Dante again. Anne can say goodbye to Natalie before she heals in the hospital. Anne watches as Natalie reunites with her biological mother. And receives a scholarship to study at the Vatican as compensation for what transpired. Father Quinn reaffirms to her that he knows who she is now that she has fought the devil as she bids him farewell. And notices a woman staring at her on the street as she rides in a taxi to the airport. The lady gradually materializes next to Anne's window, her eyes white. The cab driver is no longer sitting in the driver's seat, as Anne notices when she looks in front. He has moved into the back seat next to her. In preparation for another battle, Anne pulls out her crucifix and places it in front of the cab driver's face. As the picture fades to dark, the cab driver